Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for week 4 of the 2019 Vulcan football season. I'm your host, Gary Smith. On today's show, we're going to talk with Coach Dunn for about a half hour, looking back at this past weekend's Family Day victory against Shippensburg, and then we're going to look at highlights of the game, and then look at highlights of last year's game against this upcoming week's opponent. And then, of course, you probably guessed it, we're going to talk about Edinboro this week. But without further ado, Coach, welcome to your show. And
Week 4. Flying by.
It goes way too fast. We were talking this morning at a meeting about homecoming. We're like, oh yeah, it's a month from now. Like, no, it's about 3 weeks. We're midway point of the season almost.
That's crazy. Feels like we just got here yesterday.
And I can imagine as a coach and a coaching staff that it's got to feel a lot because, I mean, you're basically, your head's not coming above water looking at that calendar until probably December or January.
Yeah, like we just talked about, we got into the office Sunday morning and watched the game versus Shippensburg and start working on Edinboro. I mean, it's Groundhog Day. You do the same thing every day, just a different opponent each week.
And I tell you what, this past Saturday against Edinboro, I don't know who you talked to get another Chamber of Commerce afternoon up at Adams Stadium. But a beautiful day for college football. Might have been a little warm for everybody, but we can work on that. But just a great effort for your team on Saturday in front of a really good crowd. And I mean, the one thing watching in the truck that I noticed, it was very workmanlike effort. I mean, there was nothing too spectacular, nothing too bad. Just like put your head down and business-like and get the win. How did that feel as a coach to see that effort on Saturday?
Yeah, it was good. The thing too that you mentioned was the crowd. What a great crowd we had. We have our pregame meal here in the student center, and obviously a lot of families were here, people on campus stopping us and wishing us luck. And then you get up there and there was people everywhere, so that was good to see. Just good for us to respond. We came off a tough week. And I thought our guys did a good job of putting the work in during the week. We prepared better this week, and that's going to be our message to them today when we meet with them is that we prepared better. We felt like probably our best Monday practice. We came back and we talked about stacking good days. We had a good work Tuesday, we had good work Wednesday, we had a great mental day on Thursday, come up and had a good day Friday, and then you play well. Is it coincidence? I don't think so. So, if our guys understand it's about the process, it's about the week of work, and if you put all your chips in and you work all week, that gives you a better opportunity to play good football on Saturday.
And the work definitely paid out for over 50 points again. I was joking with you before, our graphics operator had a hard time keeping up with all the scores, but that's one of the things, at least in the 2 wins so far, there's a metaphor I like from boxing, punches and bunches. It seems like when your team starts scoring, it happens quick. In St. Anselm, I think it was 21 points in like 2 minutes. And Saturday, it seemed like offensive and defensively, there was a point it was 7-0 for a while, then all of a sudden you blink and it's 28-0 going in a half.
Yeah, a big part of that's our defense creating field position and turnovers. Jimmy Pierce got a pick six, and he's working extremely hard. But when our defense puts our offense in good situations, and then offensively we didn't turn the ball over. I think that's the 2 keys from the 2 games that we played well is we didn't turn the ball over, and we created turnovers. And it might sound like coach speak, but that's kind of the name of the game. I think our defense created four turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, and we didn't turn it over at all. So. That's the recipe to have success. And then, we're able to get some big plays going. Jordan Dandridge had a couple big plays. Tyson Hill had a couple big plays. Nelson had a couple big runs. Those 3 guys were all over 100 yards respectively. So when you're taking care of the football and your defense is creating turnovers, then obviously, it gives you a chance to play well.
I tell you what, it's easy to cut highlights after the game because each game so far this year we've had a defensive touchdown, 3 pick sixes, 2 by Lamont McFadden, 1 by Jimmy Pierce. As a coach, I mean, how is that just to know that, your defense can put points on the board just as easy as your offense can?
Yeah, it's not about those guys making the big play. It's about making the play in front of them. And I think they're doing a really good job. I think we've got 10 interceptions in 3 weeks right now, so I think they're doing a really good job. You got to give the D-line credit, too. They're working extremely hard to put pressure on the quarterback along with the outside linebackers and really just trying to force guys into making bad decisions and then, take advantage when the play's in front of you. Take advantage of it. And our defense is doing a nice job. That got to continue to work, got to continue to grow. And we're still, we still got a lot of corrections to make. It's week 4, and we're still making some mistakes on both sides of the ball that we need to get corrected here moving forward.
Well, on the coaching, you can definitely tell one of the things you and your staff took care of this week. I suppose Kutztown, in Kutztown game, the offensive line had their hands full with Kutztown, but this week I don't think any of the quarterbacks or any of the backfield really, was under any duress at any time. That's a credit to you and your staff and the guys working hard to kind of correct that week to week.
Yeah, the O-line did a nice job protecting, did a nice job in the run game, along with our tight ends, and our backs are very involved in our pass protection. We actually free-released our back a lot more this week than we had. We don't typically do that, but was something we thought going into the game against Shippensburg. So a lot of those pass plays, your 5-0 linemen are in there man-on-man, so they got to be able to do it, and they had a nice week.
And I tell you what, protecting for Noah Mitchell and the receivers, we saw a couple almost like deja vu plays from last year's game against Shippensburg. The Tyson Hill over the middle, but the line did a good job giving Noah a chance to get that ball out. And then what can we say about having Jordan Dandridge back and healthy this year? Because he's really stretching the field. And that touchdown, you'll see in the highlights, where he get full extension, getting both feet down in the end zone in the third quarter is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, we said deja vu yesterday. Last year Tyson, we caught him in man coverage there, and Tyson's playing really strong with the football in his hands right now. And when you're a man coverage and you can break a tackle, then that's probably what's going to happen. Then deja vu, Jimmy Pierce had a pick six up there last year against those guys. So we said the same thing. But it is nice to have JD back. We were just speaking with the offensive coaches in the office about him 15 minutes ago. It's nice to have him back. He's kind of a calming influence versus he's an older guy. He's a real even keel. He's never too high. He's never too low. And boy, he can go get the ball. So it's nice to have him back and playing and working hard.
And on the other side of the ball, before we look at the highlights, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk. There's another streak going on Lamont McFadden, 3 straight weeks with an interception, 2 of which he scored, and then he had a pick, an interception at the start of this game to really set your offense up. But what's it like to see him doing what he does every day, even in practice? That's got to be a thrill.
Yeah, it's I sound like a broken record, but Lamont just plays so hard that and he's doing a really good job with his reads and his keys and being in the right spot. And I think our coaches are putting him in some positions to be able to make some plays, and by him doing what he's supposed to, the plays are coming to him, and when he gets an opportunity, he's going to make it.
Well, that's enough for us talking about the game. Let's let the folks at home, or I guess you're not really watching at home anymore. We're watching on your phones, coffee shops, wherever you're watching it. Let's take a look back at the highlights from this past weekend's winning at Shippensburg, and then after the break, we'll come back and look at the highlights from last year's game against Edinburgh, who will be on the schedule for this week. So you're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.
In the hands of Dunn. Dunn dropping back to throw. Feels some pressure. Has to go high. Went for this one, and it's intercepted. Brought down right at midfield. Here's the 4th and 10 as Mitchell and company are going to go for it here. Mitchell dropping back to throw. He's going for the end zone, and that one is caught. Touchdown, Vulcans. What an excellent grab there in the end zone. Hand off to Brown, fakes it rather, goes across the middle there, and we're going to have a touchdown as Tyson Hill is off to the races. 15-10-5. Touchdown, Vulcans. Tyson Hill. Mitchell dropping back to throw, feels a little bit of pressure, heading towards the end zone. He's got one man all alone, and there it is. Touchdown, Vulcans. Jordan Dandridge. Dunn looking to throw, still pumping around, rolling with this one in the backfield. He throws an interception. Here it is, down the sideline. Jimmy Pierce, 10-5, touchdown, Vulcans. Mitchell hands off to Brown again. Now Brown's got the first down. A lot more. Nelson Brown's going to trot right on into the end zone. He went for a first down. Got a touchdown instead. Nelson Brown.
Wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Nelson Brown right up the middle, and they do. Nelson Brown powers forward into the end zone for a Vulcan touchdown.
1st and 10 on the Ship 31 as Mitchell's going straight for the end zone, and he has his man. Touchdown, Vulcans. Jordan Dandridge reels it in. Hand off to Sykes once again. Sykes dashes through 2s, through 3. There he goes into the end zone. Richie Sykes. Touchdown, Vulcans.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
Brown puts his head down, gets into the end zone for a California touchdown. California an early lead. Intercepted. Edinburgh Fighting Scots has one man to beat. They beat Mitchell at the 20, at the 10, falling at the 10. It's faked. Tomko has room to his right, gets the first down and more at the 5 into the end zone. Mitchell drops back, goes long, Dandrid's open. He got it with one hand into the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcan. Brown with the give. Brown fights his way into the end zone for a California touchdown. Tomko has the receiver. The ball's dropped. It's going to stay as a fumble. California picks it up at the 50. Now at the 30. Lamont McFadder makes his way into the end zone off the fumble recovery. Tomko drops back, goes long, intercepted by Lamont McFadder. McFadder has some room, got some blocks at the 45, now down at the 49-yard line. First and goal, Brown gets the carry. Brown gets the carry, gets the touchdown as well. Tomko drops back, intercepted by California. Who else? Who else? Gaelic finds his way through the middle at the 5 into the end zone. Edinburgh gets back on the board. Mitchell drops back to throw. Has Tyson Hill. Hill has it. Hill still on his feet into the end zone.
To the Gary Dunn Show, as you saw just now, the highlights of last year's game against Edinburgh. And Coach, looking back at those highlights, one, it's weird. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, and it feels like it was 10 decades ago because there's been a lot of travel, a lot of games since then. But we were talking off camera about Edinburgh, and they're 0-3 coming into this game, but they may be one of the best 0-3 teams in the country. They've been playing tough football.
Yeah, they've had a rough stretch. They opened the season with Grand Valley, who it's awful tough place to play up there. Bloomsburg and East Stroudsburg. So, their talent jumps off the film at you. They've got some really good pieces defensively. They're very athletic. They can move. They can run. They're big up front. So, we're going to have to play good football. And, obviously anytime you go on the road in the PSAC, you got to play good. And like we talked about earlier, practice is going to lead to that. How we practice this week is going to determine how we play. But, obviously Edinburgh is looking for their first win, and I'm sure they're going to have a good week. Now,
I know in film study, you've seen my film so far. On the offensive side of the ball, what do they do in terms of offensive scheme?
Yeah, they got a couple big play guys. They got a receiver that's been an all-league guy up there. So they're going to try and find ways to match him up and get him the ball. They run the ball as well. They'll do some RPO stuff. Just a basic, not basic, but a college offense. They'll do some RPO stuff. They'll run the ball. They run inside zone, very similar to the way we run inside zone. And they got some big play guys. They a little banged up at quarterback right now. Their starting quarterback sat out last week, so kind of interesting to see where that is and where that goes. But we've got to play assignment football. We got to be on our reads and keys and really taking care of our business.
And of course, the follow-up question to that is the other side of the ball on defense. What is Edinboro? What kind of schemes do they run? And what kind of things can they do to disrupt our offense?
Yeah, one, they're a base one high team. They're going to try and outnumber you and really stop the run. That's kind of what they're built on. They're going to drop their safety into the boundary or drop them into the field and really outnumber you in every box and take the run away. They've done a great job in recent years of, as you saw in the highlights, of creating turnovers. That's kind of what they do is they stop the run and try and get you in situations and create turnovers. And then they have a nice pressure package. They came in here last year and had a nice blitz package that gave us some problems that we're going to have to work through and make sure that we got our assignments done. But stop the run, pressure the quarterback, and try and turn you over. And they've, in recent years, done a really good job of that.
And, of course, this weekend marks the first PSAC West game for the season. So basically, the meat of the schedule starts now. No matter, for any team, no matter what happened in the first 3 or 4 games of the week, you can still reach any goals. You can still, get to that PSAC championship game. Are there any, what's the message going into this week, knowing this is the first conference game and on the road?
Yeah, 1 week schedule. It's we're going to put all our preparation in Edinboro this week, and then at the end of the game on Saturday, we'll look up and see where we are. But that's the approach that our guys are taking. It's about the process. It's about how we prepare, and it's a long season. We're not worried about anything else but this Saturday. We're really, tonight at practice is what we're worried about.
And luckily, it's a nice less than 15-hour road trip up at Edinboro. But before we put a bow on everything, let's take a look back at everything in the PSAC, and then we'll tell everyone how to watch, enjoy the game. And here's the scores from this past week. You see, of course, our score 58-7. Edinboro going out to East Stroudsburg, losing by 20, 34-14. Westchester hosting Seton Hill 29-0, and then Kutztown defeating Gannon at home 35-10. This is the last week of crossovers till the last week of the season. So I see Shepherd going up to Clarion and winning 40-24. Mercer's going out to Bloom. That's a good road win for Mercer's, out to Bloomsburg 38-24. IUP and Lock Haven played. Enough about that. And then Slippery Rock over Millersville 49-0. We'll take a look at where everybody sits record-wise after the non-conference part of the schedule. The West see a couple 3-0s, 2-1, 1-2, 0-2. So once again, the bell curve pretty much holds true.
Yep.
3-0, 2-1. That's all there is. Let's look at the East just
go.
to see what's going on. A little bit surprised. East Stroudsburg starting 3-0. I know talk preseason and over the summer, there wasn't a lot of news coming out about East Stroudsburg, but they've taken care of business. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over in the PSAC as the course of the season. And let's take a look at this schedule for this coming week's action. The first weekend of divisional play in the PSAC, East and West. So you see us in Edinboro. There are 3 games at noon: Kutztown Shepherd and Westchester Millersville. And then a couple 1 o'clock games: Bloomsburg Ship, IUP Mercyhurst, and then Clarion Gannon. And then 2 quote-unquote later games, a 2 and a 3 o'clock game: Slippery Rock, Seton Hill, East Stroudsburg at Lock Haven. So between noon and 6, you have a chance at seeing a lot of good football.
Yes.
But of course, the game that we want everyone to keep an eye on and watch. Come on up to Edinboro for the noon kickoff. I know, Coach, you get an extra smile on your face when we see a lot of red and black on that sideline. I tell you what, if the St. Anselm trip's any indication, there was a lot of red and black in the crowd that game. So, make your pitch to get people up on I-79. It's an easy trip.
Lake Erie at the end of September. What could possibly be better than heading to up, spend some time at the lake, and then come on over to Edinboro for the game? No, I know we'll have a good crowd. We travel well. It's exciting. I'm excited to get back on the road and go play a game.
We're going to have to, with that pitch to Lake Erie, we're going to have to get you doing a travel
sponsorship, right? I got to get a sponsorship for Lake Erie.
But if for some reason you can't make the trip up to the game, there's a million different ways. Maybe not a million, but there's multiple ways to watch the game. You can watch the game on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube. You can listen to it on 91.9 FM WCAL. I know that in the Vulcan Theater this weekend. There will be a watch party.
Absolutely.
So make sure to come out to that. I'm sure they're going to start about a half hour before the game. So come around 11:30, get a good seat in the air-conditioned and climate-controlled Vulcan Theater. I know if you want to be in town, I know Loggerheads is also airing all the games as well. So you have no excuse. And also our good friends at Sports Information, Matt Keifer and Alex King, will have live stats tweets. So really, there's no excuse to not know what's going on.
Stay well connected nowadays, right?
But Coach, that's the amazing thing, because we've been seeing on our chats on our YouTube page just a lot of talk, a lot of alums chiming in, talking about the game, a lot of players' families. That's interesting for us to see how big this Vulcan family really is.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I know our alumni, when we're on the road and guys can't make it, I'll come into the locker room after a game and grab my phone as I head to the bus, and I'll have 78, 80, 100 text messages about the game, about different plays and things like that. So we appreciate the coverage you guys give us. I think it separates us a little bit, puts us a little bit different than everybody else in the league, and I know our alumni, and we truly appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to do. Like I said, it's always fun to go and see an exciting team, and we'll be happy to be there this week. So once again, for Coach Dunn, come on up to Edinboro. Looks like Coach said go see the lake for a little bit and then come down to the game. But if not, Vulcan Theater at noon, CUTV Sports 1 if you're not there, Loggerheads if you're in town. If you're in the car, 91.9 FM. So, Coach, have a fun, safe trip up to Erie, and we'll see you at Edinboro.
We'll see you up there.
So for Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.